You'll notice I'm wearing my dressing gown. That's because I believe that no delay or obstacle is large enough to stop the process of education. Welcome to How to Play the Guitar, Volume 2. The question probably most of you have is, am I going to play guitar like that when I'm done with this video program? And I've given this quite a good deal of thought, and I think the honest answer is no. I've played guitar for many years, and that's how I've learned to play like that. Any video program is just not going to be comprehensive enough to replace the process of playing for many years. That being said, hopefully I can provide you with some of the tools that will allow you to go on that journey. Now, firstly, I just want to address a concern that I have, which I think is very important, especially with younger students. There's an impression that musicians need to consume coffee and cigarettes and other dangerous drugs in order to play music well, and that's just not the case. As far as I'm concerned, there's one substance that I recommend, and I think is actually essential. I've done quite a bit of research on this when I was in university, and all the greats, none of whom I will name, but all of the greats, you know, the people who we really consider to be the greats, have used one thing, and that's ginseng tea. You take the ginseng root, you brew it into a tea, and then you drink it. It is a stimulant, but without all of the adverse side effects of something like caffeine or an amphetamine, and I really swear by it. And you really need to think about your tea while you're drinking it. You'll find some blends, of course, that have tea leaves in with the ginseng, and you don't want those. You want just 100% ginseng root. And you want to think about it. You have to make your ginseng a spiritual experience. You know, I would almost recommend, especially if you're a beginner, just take some of it and put it on the guitar. Put it on the guitar. Try not to get any on your legs though, because that really burns. But now that you and your guitar are energized, we can probably start the learning for today. I know I received a lot of feedback off of the last episode, and many of you were really quite excited to get started. So as we said last time, we're going to begin with a look at these higher strings, the womb strings, you know, the mother strings. They're in fact what I used to do that intro little song there. That was all of the mother strings, and only the mother strings. You know, those are the ones that allow you to make all that beautiful cacophony. And so when most people look at a how to learn to play guitar book or a sheet of music or something, they're going to see a lot of numbers and letters. They're going to see something like B4, which means you're going to play this note, right? But I've done this for a long time, and it took me a long time to figure that out. I don't think we need to start there. You know, when you look at how pedagogy works, if you examine what we teach to children, we don't start them off with the alphabet blocks and the number blocks. We start them out with the rectangles. We start them out with the triangles. We start them out with the spheres. You know, these shapes. And I believe we should start playing guitar that way as well. So the first shape we're going to learn is a fairly simple one, and it's the rectangle. So imagine what a rectangle is. Just hold that imagining in your eye. Now we're going to transpose that onto these last three strings of the guitar. So let's start here. We have three strings, do, 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 and if we go up to here, we can actually make a rectangle with these strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those 6 points, and that's our first shape. Is that rectangle? Now you'll notice you can't just play a rectangle. I mean, if you put a rectangle there, nothing's going to happen. What you have to do is you have to find a way to action that rectangle, and for that we need a more kinetic shape, which is the zigzag. So we're going to take that rectangle we've outlined, and we're just going to zigzag on it. We're going to go through all the points in a zigzag. Ready? See, it's very simple. We're just zigzagging. Anyone can do this. Here's a place I'd recommend to pause the video and just spend some time zigzagging. Go da 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 da. Show your mother, show your brother, show your sister, show your aunt, show your uncle. You know, look, I'm playing a rectangle. And that's all fine and well, but you'll notice that's going nowhere. We get to the end of the rectangle, and we're just going to start over again. We need a really kinetic way to end the rectangle. And that's why we're going to use a technique called the rectangle to burst, or the zigzag explosion. So we're going to go through the pattern, but stop there. We're not just going to go back to the beginning. We're going to burst. We're going to throw ourselves up the guitar. Ready? See, a lot more excitement, a lot more passion. These are the songs your mother sang you while you were in the womb. And that's why you're such a well-adjusted being. Now you'll notice there, I didn't make it all the way up to the top. That was a different note. Usually I've been playing this. I played that. We all have our weekdays. Some of you may not be able to make it even that far. If you go through the zigzag and find you can't burst all the way up, it's okay. Just go up a little ways. Even that is a perfectly reasonable boost. We can apply other shapes too. Things like a triangle. Let's look at the triangle on the guitar. So there's one side, there's another, and if we draw between these 2 points, because that's what you do to make a triangle, we're left with that there. So let's play through the triangle. See, very simple. A lot more simple than all that letters and numbers that people always think of. Now for a third example, many of you who are more musically aware are going to know of something called bottleneck style guitar playing, which is a style of guitar playing where they would use the neck of the bottle on the guitar, and it resonates in a particular way, and it makes the sound not come out of the regular parts of the guitar, but it makes it come out of the bottleneck, which is a really interesting musical idea. John Cage invented that in the mid-40s. But it's a little bit old-fashioned. I don't want to teach you bottleneck guitar, because you're going to go out and you're going to go in the clubs and you're going to hang out with your friends and you're going to say, hey, look what I can play. And they're going to say, great, bottleneck. Yeah, so can I. Which is why I'm going to teach you something called bottle cap. So you're going to take a bottle cap, and this is another way of writing down music. You can actually write down music on a physical object. You'll notice there aren't actually any markings on this. It's just a regular bottle cap. But you know, these things are deceiving. So we're going to take our bottle cap and we're going to put it on the guitar. Let's put it where we started that rectangle-ish, here. So now you'll notice that is covering some parts of the string. Let's see if I can hold it in place here. See, it's covering some places in the string. And it's kind of making a shape very similar to the rectangle we were working with earlier. So let's take the bottle cap off, after, of course, I've memorized which places this is covering. Okay. Whoops. Okay, let's put the bottle cap on the floor. That works too. So we're just going to play that in the same way we played the rectangle. Ready? Do you notice how I was playing it in a circle there for a while, and then I started zagging, and zigging, of course. It's very important to vary your techniques. You know, you can combine all these things you've learned. Some of you may be finding yourselves overwhelmed. Your fingers aren't necessarily strong enough to play all those notes. That's okay, though, because there's a very simple solution to this problem. You'll see, if we go all the way up here, you'll notice that there are these strings here, and they're fitted into the grooves, which we went over last time. I hope you'd all remember that. So we're going to take this, we're going to count from this here at the top. We're going to 1, 2, and we're going to take that string, just take it here, put it under your nail or something, and move it, boop, and put it in there. So now you'll notice these two strings are running on the same groove. That means that you can use one finger very easily to manipulate, that's the technical term, to manipulate both of those strings, you know, in a scenario where you would have had to use two fingers before. This is a tremendous boon to most players. So let's see what happens when I show off what we can do with that. Excellent, very easy, very rock and roll. It's almost heavy metal. That's called motherly heavy metal because of course we're using those mother strings. And man, it looks like that's about all the time we have for today. I hope you have learned something, and tomorrow we'll come back and we'll talk about more things. I don't really have, you know, concrete lesson plans going forward. But tomorrow we should be able to talk about these strings down here, which I know many of you have been very excited for. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.